Okay, so this is one of our production ponds. Not the biggest one, but it's full of lovely fish, and we produce a number of C6s in here. So they would go into the pond weighing about 16 or 17 pounds. So that'd be the C5 year class, 5 summers old. They go in here and they have a summer in here. We stock it relatively lightly. We maintain the water quality. We've got an aerator, which is the blue box you can see floating down the pond. And that enables us to make sure the oxygen levels are maintained at a healthy level, so the fish continue to feed right through the summer. And they're fed on a pre-calculated ration, and provided the fish are enthusiastic in feeding, they get the food every day, and hopefully they grow nice and steadily through the summer. And then in the autumn, we've got the standpipes here. There's 2 6-inch standpipes on this pond, and what we can do, we can take sections off these, and as we lower the level down, the fish will end up in a pool here. And then what we'll do is we'll come in and harvest the fish out. And once the pond is empty, we then leave it empty for a few days, and then we lime it hard with hydrated lime, which is very caustic and then sterilises the bottom of the pond before we then let it refill, put the pipes back on, and then we're ready for another production cycle. This is a leather carp, and I know a lot of anglers will say no, it's not, because it's got some scales here, but genetically, in fish farming speak, this is a leather carp, and it was carp farmers and researchers in Russia that originally came up with the terminology leather carp. And we can tell it's a leather carp because it's got a couple of it looks very much like to an experienced fish farmer a leather carp, but it's got one big scale here. It's very common. Punctuated dorsal fin, so there's actually rays missing in the dorsal fin. If it's Lewis could just swing him around, his anal fin will have less rays in it. He's done this before, Lewis. There we go. So he's got less rays in his anal fin. He's only got 4 bony rays in his anal fin, and he's got no scales on his, like the necklace around the gill plate. So that's a leather. So genetically quite a weak fish, got less red blood cells, less white blood cells. Its ability to regenerate fins is poor, and through a lifetime of angling, landing nets and swimming about in a lake, they often end up with quite gnarly little fins. There you go, a little bit of biology about leather carp. Have to take my word for it that hasn't, no one's been on that at all this year. So that's been filled for a year. The water's been up this sort of level, and that's obviously the best bit of clay in the pond to rub against. It's got an inherently sticky feel to it, and the fish clearly love rubbing on that to get those parasites off, and you can actually see the little fin scuffs in the clay. This would be a hell of a spot to fish, definitely. VS Fisheries is so exciting, and I'm absolutely buzzing about it. We're coming to the end of harvest. I've seen thousands and thousands of carp, and I'm happy to say that they get better looking every year. So I think really, you know, in terms of what we produce and going forward from this point, we're looking to produce lots of different scale pattern fish, really good growing fish, and hopefully fish that people can buy from this farm that can go into fisheries and produce quality sport for the next 30 or 40 or 50 years.